Hello and welcome to this video. We're playing QueenLover, who beat us before. Don't remember how that game went, but anyway, he played pretty quickly. Alright, let's go with knight f6. I think he just got like a very strong pressurizing position, just had a small edge and just kind of outplayed me. So d6 and bishop e3. So it's going for like, yeah, bishop e2. I don't know. Okay, we can actually play e5 immediately here. We don't need to. We don't need to. We don't need to prepare that because he didn't play knight f3. Now he does play it. And I guess now knight bd7 to shore up this pawn. And okay, we can actually play something like knight g4 here. What does knight g4 do? Knight g4 hits the bishop. If knight g4, bishop g5, f6, bishop back. I like that. I like that. I like that. Or maybe just trying to develop the bishop e7. Knight g4. Why doesn't that work? Knight g4, bishop g5, f6. Okay, maybe we can just play something a little bit normal here. Let's try b6. Okay, so he gets there. Now this is going to play... Okay, so why doesn't knight e4 work? He played that so quickly, but why doesn't knight e4 work? I don't get that at all. Yeah, I don't really see why knight e4 doesn't work, so we'll find out in a moment, necessarily. Okay, knight takes. We can take on c3 if we want to. Yeah, let's do that. And then knight takes. Oh, wait a sec. Bishop takes f3. Bishop takes f3 hits the rook. Let's play knight takes then. Threatening. Okay, so now bishop takes c5. Rook moves. Bishop here. Rook goes back. And maybe we should have taken actually b2. Maybe we can just take b2 there. Why not? Maybe queen f6 here. Is that possible? I don't want to get my bishop trapped. Queen f6, f4, bishop takes b2. That looks okay. So b3. Okay, interesting. Interesting. We can actually play this move. Bishop f4, forking bishop and rook. If bishop takes rook, yeah, that looks okay. Alrighty. I think black's better here, but I'm behind on the clock. Okay, so I guess bishop b7. Bishop b7 looks okay. Bishop d3 maybe now. Okay. Let's play. Which rook are we going to play? We can either go for a5, a4. Yeah, let's go for a5, a4. Try and activate the a8 rook. And let's go to f6, keeping an eye on the rook. Yeah, I didn't. That's why I didn't want to play queen e5 because I thought rook e1 was coming. Okay. Alrighty. So now rook fe8, and what about this move? c5 doesn't look great, so I think just rook ad8. King comes out. Oh, that's interesting. Ooh, there's no check there. Let's not be too hasty. Can I play rook e5 in this position? I think we can. To try and discourage c5. And ooh, okay. Now we can play this queen. Now we can play queen h4 here. So, or actually this move. Yeah, rook here. Queen h4 can be good. Queen h4 if g3, then we can take on h3. So time is the issue here. Okay, so now queen why not this move? Or takes first and then... Okay, wow, okay. Wasn't expecting that. This looks like... Okay, you're going to play rook here. Then I get to take on c. Then I get to take here if you block with the rook though, right? Yeah, I do. So now if queen here... We've got another check here. Sorry, if queen there, I've got another check on this square here. Alright, so... I think just this move actually, just pushing the d-pawn now. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead with c5 as well, threatening to take twice. Okay, interesting. Yeah, let's take this. And okay. What's happening here? Can we take this? I think we can. Okay. Ah, now I lose a4, but then I can push this pawn, right. Okay, so let's push a3. Have to be really careful about the checkmate. This is coming here. But I've got queen f8. So if queen h6, I've got queen f8. So that stops the mate, and now there's a queen appearing on this square here. So what's the plan? Okay. So let's go rook c8. And let's go here. Now, if queen takes a2, we take this rook. Okay, now I can force the exchange of queens. Ooh, that's not right. So, I've got queen e5 coming. And he resigned. Fantastic! Alright, let's pause and then reflect. Okay, so just gone back to the beginning. I think this is the first critical moment here. I was expecting white to just push d5. d5 makes sense to me to block out the bishop on b7. I think I really am threatening to win this pawn, so after h3, I think it was correct to take the pawn. So knight in, knight takes pawn. So I think after this we had a fairly healthy pawn up. I think in this position, I probably can just take on b2. Can't see really anything that crucial, like bishop b2. If bishop h6, we just come back to g7. And I feel like we could just be 2 pawns up here, to be honest. So it was annoying to miss that one. In this position, I didn't like white's f3. I mean, it just seems like it's just opening up too many weak squares for his king, and I think that did tell a little bit later, so I don't like that move. I think he could maybe just play bishop f3, he's probably fine, and trade some, maybe not bishop f3 actually. No, because I'll just take twice on f3. Okay, but just something simple here. I mean, you know, maybe bishop d3 is fine. Yeah, he's a pawn down, but it's not the end of the world. And then I would say this is the next critical phase where, I mean, he plays bishop f3, which I think is okay. And then in this position, I mean, let's think. I don't think he can stop himself from losing a pawn. But maybe, hang on, maybe just queen takes f3, and then if queen takes f3, yeah, but then I have queen d4 check and win the c pawn. Yeah, but I think king takes is still not quite right. I mean, this check is pretty good now. And then I think I'm, you know, what are we, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm like 2 pawns up, and you know, there's nothing really going on here. So I think black's just winning now. So in this position, after taking on b4, I thought for a moment I had left this pawn on prise, but thinking about it, I think if rook takes d5, I have... Well, let's think about this for a second, because if rook takes d5 and queen b3 check, then queen takes b3. So that's not going to be okay, because after a, b, rook takes here. So I think I am dropping the d pawn, and I think that's white's best chance here. He went for rook here, but then I'm defending the pawn. Then I lose the a pawn, and again I think white should have taken the a pawn there. Although, I mean, then I'm going to push d5. f4, and that's going to be quite nasty. So he went for this f6 idea, and I like this a3. I like that I'm on this square and that I'd seen that. So queen up. Let's just think about this. Can I just play? Did I play a2? No, I did play a2. Yeah, that looks right to me. And then queen comes in, and then queen back to stop the mate. And then let's think about this. If we play queen takes f8, king takes f8, and then rook to d1 to stop the pawn queening, then I guess the d pawn runs. Maybe we play something like h6 and then try and bring the king over to take the f6 pawn. I mean, I think the endgame should be fairly comfortably winning, but I think that was a better chance than what he played in the game. Queen back. Let's just think, can I play queen c5 immediately? If queen c5, queen h6 maybe, to renew the threat of mate. That's interesting, actually. Queen c5, queen h6, queen c3 check. Now, black needs to move his king, but not to a square where, not to f2, because then I can take the rook with check. If king g2, I was on this square, wasn't I? King here. Yeah, and then I'm potentially getting off that diagonal, so that could get nasty. So I have to be a little bit careful. So I think rook c8 was good here. And then queen a1 to block this. Maybe that's okay, but it makes the queen pretty passive. What else could he do? He has to keep the queen. He's got to move the queen and keep it on the first rank, but maybe queen d1 is better. Queen d1 to try and put some pressure on this one. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think now let's think what's the best line. I mean, queen a3 check was also an idea. Queen a3 check. Queen a3 check might win instantly, thinking about this. Queen a3 check. King moves, because there's nothing you can block with, and then rook c1, guarded by the queen a3, forces the queen to come out, and actually there's nowhere to go. Yeah, so that looks like the quickest win here. Queen a3 check. What did I play? I played queen c5. I think that's also good. Not as good. Now the threat is probably, well, what's the threat here? To play queen c3 check, which is what we played. The rook here, as I actually went for the check here. Yeah, so after queen takes queen, rook takes queen, then you would have to come to d1, otherwise black's... No, actually, wait a second. No, it's check, it's check. Queen takes c3, rook takes c3 check. Okay, then after king moves, it's just queen anyway. So, yeah, this is kind of busto. So, this is over now anyway, isn't it? This move wins, because you basically have to you have to exchange, otherwise I take the rook. Or take the queen. So yeah, I think this is a winning move actually. Okay, yeah, interesting game. Very nice win over a high-rated player who I've played before, and we're now 1-1. That's very nice and interesting game. Thank you very much for watching.